Welcome to the online lecture 3, where we're going to look at how do we apply some of these wonderful biblical texts for people who wouldn't have any biblical understanding, and perhaps some of the language and the words found in the Bible would be too difficult for people to grasp. It would be Christianese or gobbledygook or whatever you want to call it. Yes, we know that the words in Scripture are powerful, but how can people connect with those stories? Remember, good news needs to be understood as good news, otherwise it's no news, which is bad news. So here I am in the chapel that is in our back garden where we live in Great Gransden. We use this chapel for the arts, so we have concerts, did my book launch here, and we also encourage people to engage with the Bible through storytelling, through poetry. Now, the challenge for this online lecture is for you to take Psalm 23 or Psalm 139 or Psalm 91 and to look to apply one of those psalms in a way that people can understand. So I'm just going to give you an example from Psalm 91. A few times I've taken an umbrella, much bigger than this one, and I've taken it out onto the streets of Peterborough and I've carried a sign. And the sign that I've carried is this: I will shelter you. And people have asked, well, why would you shelter me? And as I walk with people from one shopping centre to another, if it's raining, I explain that I'm reenacting an old psalm, an old poem about what God is like, that he shelters us. And as we walk under the umbrella, it's a wonderful example for people to kind of get to grips with what God is like, that God isn't a God that's distant, a God that's pie in the sky kind of God, but a God who's right here in our midst, sheltering us. So what could you do to make sense for people who don't understand the language of the Lord being our shepherd? What could you do to connect a psalm like Psalm 23 or Psalm 91 of God being a shelter, or Psalm 139 about being known by God and being people being wonderfully made by him? What is it that you could do? I want you to come up with an idea of what you could do. I want you to design something. It might be a picture, it might be an act that you could show one of these psalms. How would you connect one of these psalms with someone who doesn't understand the words in the psalm? For example, God being a shepherd. How would people connect with God, but using the basis of one of those psalms? Have fun, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. It's just the idea of how to connect, so don't worry about implementing it. I just want to see how you've grappled with the text and come with that idea.